My name is Damon Didier. I am the founder and CEO of Win at E-commerce, an agency based out of Dallas, Texas, that is a direct-to-consumer CRM agency. We've been doing this now for a little over 4 years. We count some pretty big brands to our name, like Rogue Creamery, Christopher Bean Coffee, Phil's Coffee, Buca de Beppo. And what we do is we help clients mine their data for direct-to-consumer activation to get their clients to buy more. And I think there's no better reason to talk at any time of the year than it is right now for quarter 4. And I'm very proudly joined today by Shauli Mizrahi from Rep AI. I'd like to introduce yourself and tell us what Rep AI is all about.
First of all, great to be here. So we're Rep AI. Rep AI is a conversational AI platform that uses behavioral AI to understand when customers are about to leave the website. And then the AI proactively engages with them, so approaches them with the context of where they are in the sales funnel. So that could be in the homepage or after add to cart or reviewing some product pages. And then the AI has the full sales conversation with customers to make sure that they end up buying. So that could be product recommendations, that could be answering any product related questions or anything they need, basically, even upselling to make sure that they end up buying and buying more. That's in a nutshell.
The conversation around AI is massive, and I'm sure anybody who's watching this has tried something. And if you've gotten deep enough, you find out it's hard. Like there's a lot to it. Things go off the rails, hallucinations, poor data, and Rep AI makes all of this easy. And I think that's really, really important as we're looking forward to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that you've got an easy tool you can plug in to help generate sales. So with that said, let's get started and get into this, which is today is our Black Friday, Cyber Monday 2025 blueprint and why you've got to get going now. We have another webinar coming up a week from now called Powering Smart Digital Relationships with SMS. Far too many brands are only focusing today on email. The demise of email has been greatly exaggerated. Email still does really well, but SMS is a great way to break through. So is WhatsApp and other alternative technologies, messaging platforms. And next week at this time, we'll be going over SMS. You can see all of Win's learnings there at learn.winatecommerce.com. And we will be sending this out to anybody who registers a copy of this video. This particular deck is a conglomeration of data that Klaviyo did with partners like us, looking at global brands to kind of figure out what are some secrets for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And in here, we added our own Win insights. And I'm going to kind of comment on some of these because I think some of it's already bad. I think it's already old. And I'm going to kind of explain what I mean there. These ideas apply to any messaging platform or direct-to-consumer CRM that's out there. But if you've got Klaviyo, it's just a lot easier to stand these things up. October is the month to re-engage old customers and to build your list. You do that by, well, a bunch of different ways, but a great way to do that is by using your loyalty and rewards to do refer a friends, by sharing with friends, by teasing special access to holiday promotions. But October is the time to build. And we're going to talk about that more in just a moment. The beginning of November is all about gift guides, talking about getting ready for the gift giving season and VIP offers. Now, I want to talk about that for just a quick sec. VIP offers are huge. You want to take your best customers out of the market early November so they're not shopping your competitors during Black Friday, Cyber Monday at the end of the month. The goal is to just make them fat and happy, make them feel special, give them those Black Friday offers early, or give them even better offers like freebies or something when they buy to take them out of the market. Then we're going to market to those VIPs again right before Black Friday to hopefully get a frequency of 2 out of those customers. So normally you think about VIPs, you might just do early access around Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We're saying try to get 2 sales out of them for that month. And you'll see that you'll get a lot more sales because of it, because those people are the ones that are the best to buy more. And then, of course, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And then December goes into shipping deadlines, talking about last minute gifts. And if you don't have a gift card program and all that, it's a great way to get sales all the way up to the very end of the month, right around Christmas time, for you to deliver those digital goods and not the physical ones. So October is grow your list season. And what that means is lead acquisition growing between June and October. You got to build the biggest list you possibly can. There are two types of forms that you should be using on your website. And this is some of the first big data you should be looking at. The pop-ups are those little pop-ups that pop up on your screen. If you're a e-com owner that doesn't like pop-ups, I don't care. Put the darn pop-ups on. They work. This says you should be at about a 2.75% conversion rate. I believe you should be a minimum of 3%. And I've got some brands that are as high as 6 or 7%. So absolutely do those pop-ups with a teaser and all that. Embedded forms are those little like signups that you put at the footer of your web page on the homepage, and you ask for for people to sign up there. Embedded forms don't do great. That's okay. At the end of the day, you just want to have a place for people to go in case they accidentally closed out your pop up, and they can go down there and sign up there. Those are very engaged people that fill out the embedded form. October, you should be doing A/B tests to improve your conversion rate. What kind of tests you should be doing? I recommend that you test, your normal 10 or 15 or 20% off versus don't tell them the amount off. So you might say you've unlocked an exclusive discount, but don't tell them how much. Then, if you're getting really crazy, you should test out things like spin to win. Spin to win does incredibly good at getting people to sign up. It doesn't always necessarily translate into a sale, but right now you're in list building season. So build your list. We've seen up to 12% conversion rate on the spin to wins. And then finally, click SMS opt-in and aim for a 20% list growth. That's just for SMS, but yes, absolutely add SMS in there. Klaviyo in particular has made the SMS sign-up process less frictionful, if you will. And at the end of the day, makes it a lot easier to sign up for there. Very similar to what you see with Postmates and with Attentive now. So here you go, A/B testing. Use AI for optimal display times. Klaviyo's got this wonderful tool that actually, if you've got enough people on your website, it will optimize when the pop-up occurs and then go further than email. Today, Klaviyo supports WhatsApp in addition to SMS and, of course, RCS. And then down the road, we're going to be seeing, we have already seen a new feature coming out for Instagram. So if you're big on Instagram, you can connect that to your Klaviyo account and get new email leads that way as well. Send weekly campaigns. Consistency is key with email and SMS leading up to and during Black Friday. Now, what does this mean? What this means is you got to start sending. If you're not sending a minimum of one a week email, you're way behind. You've got to get that list warmed up. You've got to allow all the email inbox providers to see that you're sending at a good cadence. You've got good open and click rates. And what that means is this is saying about a 42% open rate and a 2.5% click rate. I don't see those numbers nowadays. A 42% open rate, it's still pretty good. That should be right around where you're at. 35% fine with me, but a 2.5% click rate, that's getting tougher and tougher. Today, we're happy with a 1.2% click rate above, or even a 1% in some cases. So this is one of those pieces of data that might have been current as of the end of last year and early this year, but today we're not seeing it anymore. The AI tools on the inbox providers are really making it more and more difficult to deliver and get clicks. So really think this click rate, if it's a 1% or above, you're good. I added this in there, the achieve a 70 delivery score. This is a Klaviyo metric and deliverability. You want to be above a 70. Higher, the better. 80, 90 would be fantastic. But you can imagine in November, you're going to be sending a lot of emails out, and your sending is going to take a huge hit. It's going to be bad. Your deliverability score will go down. Today, you've got to build it up so that you're ready to take that hit down the road. So go for 70 or above. Avoid peak hours, send it off time hours. That's for SMS, but it goes for email as well. Don't send on the 00 time. Send at a weird time that'll help set you apart, or even right before the hour so you can kind of preempt some of those competitors that might be sending something. So really fast key advice, send multiple emails per month. Minimum of 4, 8 or more would be great. October is a great time to test some new angles for BFCM. You want to be personalized, and we'll talk about that more in a moment and segment. And you want to make sure you're hitting those benchmarks. I told you my opinion in the last slide for that. For SMS, this is exactly right. 1 to 4 targeted SMS campaigns per month. You definitely want to send right in that sweet spot and choose weird times that when you send it, do not send at all 8 p.m. to 10 a.m. That is the worst idea. In fact, If you're sending to people in Texas, you could get a fine starting September 1st for that. If you don't have explicit permission to send an SMS message to people in Texas, they can submit your message to the attorney general and you can get fined up to $2,000 per send. And if you send hundreds in one email, that could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. So just be very careful about this. There's a whole group of stipulations around this. I'm happy to discuss with anybody who wants to go over that. Send 8 emails over the course of the month to different segments. So the average person is getting about 2 up to maybe 4 pops in a month. You should have at least 8 revenue generating emails. The welcome series, browse abandonment, and cart abandonment are the 3 best revenue generators you've got. Those 3 you got to have. But since you're working on it, there should be other ones. We've got one called a site abandonment, which is if they leave a blog, they'll get messaged by you. You should be looking at checkout abandonment. Goes cart all the way down to checkout, the final phase. That's a really smart one for sales as well. Beyond that, you should be doing a cross sell. So after somebody buys, you can do a cross sell. You should be looking at a sunset flow to help clean up your list in the long run. And you should be looking at other flows that you can put around it that are specific. We love the one called the failure to launch flow, which takes the decision cycle process, which is usually about 7 days for most products, doubles it to about 14 and says, hey, why didn't you buy? Come on back and go from there. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for that. And to have those flows going means you're just generating revenue without doing any extra work once those are all in place. You definitely want to include SMS. And if you've got WhatsApp clients, you want to add WhatsApp in there as well. You want to have 8+ flows. You want to add VIP offers. You definitely want to segment those flows into different kinds of customer affinity types, including VIPs. And then make sure that you're doing SMS on timely kind of situations. Those browse abandonment and cart abandonments are really, really important when you add SMS in there. And then, of course, do queue for excitement. For our clients, we actually modify our flows for the holidays. And that's a best practice that definitely gets extra conversions because of it. Top brands use dynamic segmented content. People, when they spend money with you, over $100 in their lifetime, they expect 74% of them expect personalization, especially in 2025. If you get enough emails and SMS content, if you don't think that the content's speaking to you, you're not going to buy from that brand. So, what does that look like and what does that mean? I'll talk about in a second. But the idea is that you should have at least 6 segmented audiences. I always start with 3 and then we build out as time goes on. With segments, you've got behavioral segmentation, which I'm sure Rep AI has got a good point of view on that. And then we've got like RFM segmentation, which is recency, frequency, and monetary value, which really helps us identify kind of those people that are waiting for wows or the champions, the best clients. But on top of that, every brand has a different affinity. Somebody who might like dark roast coffee versus medium or light roast coffee. Maybe it's somebody who, enjoys your blue cheese, but not your cheddar cheese. And knowing those kinds of people and segmenting them appropriately allows you to create this dynamic segmented content at scale very quickly. And with AI design tools, you can easily pop these out. And we've got ones around men that are at different age groups. So we can take the same image, use like Nano Banana to automatically spin up three different ages for the model in the picture, and boom, we can segment and create bespoke emails based upon affinity segments and use those to update the copy, but also to update the imagery right around those people. This is what clients expect today. Clients in today's economic situation in America, they are looking to spend less this Black Friday, but they're going to spend that money with the brands they already know and trust. So they're looking to go back to the brands they love again and again, but they're looking for values from those brands. And the best value play of the year definitely is Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We've got a methodology called win scoring that scores people based upon their behaviors on the website, and that helps to drive those kinds of things that we do. And of course, we want to tailor the messaging, like I mentioned a moment ago, to those affinity groups so that they know you're talking to them. And then finally, let's talk in my section here about what's going on in the economy and some of the big data. So product quality equals price for first-time buyers. Quality is key. Customers and clients out there are looking for, they're spending hard-earned money. They're definitely deliberating more over that spend. and your product has to meet the quality standards that they have. If they don't, they're going to send it back. They're going to complain. It's going to be bad. So you got to have product quality. They're going to be using reviews. They always have been, but I think reviews are getting more and more prominent. And they're using all of the data that you've got on your page, descriptions and whatnot, to make that decision. And they see all those as being similarly influential. So those all have to be really, really good. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. Customers do expect personalization. On the web, that's not always possible unless you have some sort of backend integration with a data lake or warehouse. But in emails, it's definitely possible, and we can use predictive analytics around age and around gender to really hammer home and to help create that personalization. When you do that, you get better retention. And the name of the game is client acquisition costs are always going up. They're never going to go down. It's only getting worse. So it's better to sell to the people you're already talking to. Email, SMS, all of that's how we do it. And then organic social is critical for acquisition. Today, people look at your social profile. That shows you if shows them if you're a valuable and a trustworthy seller. So it's really important to have a voice there. Don't cut your tech stack, consolidate it, make your tech stack as simple as possible. Adding tools like Rep AI is an easy win. It integrates with Klaviyo, and tools like Rep AI allow you to add on to the tech stack without making it any more complex. You want to target precisely with first-party data. Look at this one: cutting discounting by 10% while growing revenue by going that way. A salient point: your best customers, your champions, the best of the best, the ones that buy the most recently, highest frequency, and highest average order value, are the ones that expect the discount the least. So a lot of times we think about our best clients, we're going to discount the heck out of it and get them to buy more. They don't expect it. So when you target precisely on people like that, you can actually get a higher average order value out of them, which they've already shown you that they are those people, and not have to discount to do it. And then finally, look at AI for efficiency, not replacement. There are so many tools coming out every single day around AI, but they're tools. They're like really smart calculators that help you perform functions faster. I know in my agency, we're not cutting anybody. We're using AI to make the people we've got today smarter. And so I think if you take that approach, you will win as well and do really, really good with it. Finally, just some questions for you to consider. I'm not going to answer these right now, but just some things to be thinking about. What types of sign-up forms are you currently using? What's working best? How do you balance the campaign volume with fatigue? Sending the same message over and over again, that definitely causes fatigue. You don't get fatigue when you hyper-personalize it. Are you planning to cut costs or consolidate your tech stack? If so, what's most essential and what are you looking at cutting? And what can maybe enhance with AI instead? And I definitely think there's a need to maybe reduce cost, but really the need should be to enhance sales when it comes to cutting tool cost and implementing AI and other tools. So with that said, I want to turn it over to our next part of our conversation. Thanks for being patient, Shauli. Based upon what I just talked about, would you like to talk a little bit in general about Rep AI? Then I'll have a couple of questions I'll ask you, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, Rep AI, we as a company have been in this space for now 5 years. So straight from the moment that AI came out, so GPT-3 came out, we were the first ones to harness it and use it as part of the engine. And therefore we have a lot of years of experience, in our on our belt. And what we always thought of is how do we bring on the role of sales assistant that exists in brick and mortar store, and it has existed for hundreds of years now, and it's so successful. How do we bring that online? How do we bring that to e-commerce? Bring them the joy of having someone, in this case it's AI, but someone that can have a conversation with customers and convince customers to buy or recommend customers of the right item that they should buy and upsell and find complementary items and do all that in a conversational way, not in the old form of a search and menu where you get lost within thousands of SKUs as a customer and you just basically churn in the end. And that's what we're coming to fix. We came to fix that problem that exists in e-commerce and is doing the transformation now. And what we always believe that by looking at how a sales assistant look like, if we can replicate the whole role, then we'll be successful. And that's, by the way, everything we did is by investigating, researching the brick and mortar experience and then bringing it online.
Are you able to mimic that human interaction that they would normally get from a human customer service rep with the AI? Is it that good?
It's as good. And let me tell you, like, let me give you an example. When you go to brick and mortar store, the worst sales assistant would approach you in a moment you walk in the store, right? So you walk through the door and someone jumps, hey, do you need any help? And most likely you're going to say, no, 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 I'm just browsing. Thank you. Don't put that pressure on me, please. The best one is going to spot you, let you walk in, going to look at you, understand what you're doing. And when you're facing a problem, when you're, I don't know, like looking at a product and you seem unsure, your face shows that you're unsure, then that sales system would come in and say, hey, I noticed that you're checking out our black shirts. Do you have any questions? Can I help you in any way? And then the conversation would start flowing because that's actually the customer. That's when you need help, right? So we tried to mimic that same experience online. And what we did is we created this machine learning model that its job is to gather over 500 different data points. Different data points about your behavior as a customer. So everything you're doing on the website, how you're scrolling, how you're moving, how long you spend on each page, your scroll depth, what's your scroll velocity, all that is being inserted into that model. His job is to predict if you're facing a problem and if you're going to drop off. So if that model gives that signal that you're probably not going to buy, then the AI starts initiating the conversation. So then the AI approaches the customer with the context of where the customer is. So, for example, if you now checked out a few products, let's say you looked at different black shirts, and the AI got that information, and now the AI saw that you're about to leave, the AI would approach you as a customer and say, "Hey, we see that you checked out our amazing black shirts collection. No, we've got tons. How can I help you find the right one for you?" So knowing what the customer problem is, and then bringing the customer into a conversation. And then from that point on, it's a full sales conversation. And by the way, on mobile, it takes over the entire mobile screen. So it completely makes the website behind redundant because you can add to cart, you check out, you can be even redirected and navigated to product pages by the AI. So the AI takes you around the website and does everything for you. And then the AI has full conversation, a full product recommendation conversation, for example. So if you're saying, yeah, I'm looking at black shirts, I don't know which shirt I want to buy. Then the AI will take the entire catalog, filter out the by the what the customer wants, and then starts asking follow-up questions. So, for example, what type of neck would you like? Crew neck versus V-neck? Do you have any preferences regarding fabric? Anything like that to try to narrow down the results and make sure the customer in the end gets few results, not 100 of results. If we're talking about big merchants with a lot of large catalog, then the whole point of in that scenario is to try to narrow down to make sure that you end up seeing 5 results, no more than.
How does it learn all that? Like, how does it know what the proper product is and learn what it needs to do to detect, I guess, what your brand's tone is and speak really on your behalf? How does it do that?
When merchants install our Shopify app, by the way, it's one-click integration. And then what happens in the background is that the platform starts collecting all the information. So integrating with Shopify, so bringing in all the product information, all the collections, meta fields, tags, everything in the catalog, but also crawling the website. So crawling each page and bringing all the content from the pages. All that becomes part of the AI's knowledge base. Beyond that, also the AI does deep research on itself on the website. So the AI goes and starts collecting information like, okay, what's the tone of voice of this website? And brings it and saves it as the tone of voice. Then what is the description about the customers so I can understand the customers? So it goes and it researches the brand and brings a description about the customers. Same thing about the brand. So all that is being inserted and ready to go. So merchants don't even have to configure everything. Everything is automatic in that sense.
If I do want to tune it, is there a way for me to get in there and like guess anything?
So you go into brand customization, you'll see everything that AI collected, and you can say, okay, do you know what? This tone of voice is not what I want. You can change that, but also you can give it instructions. So we already trained the AI to act as the best salesperson for that specific brand. So the AI has guardrails in the way that what you can say in the conversation, what you cannot say in the conversation. So stay off different topics, for example. Always represent the brand. So if customers are trying to push the AI to say bad things or to say good things about competitors, the AI will always stay on course and always praise the brand as its employer, of course, and I only say good things. So that is part of the guardrails. But more than that, the AI is also trained to be just the best salesperson. How to be kind, how to be emotional, all that. But beyond that, if a merchant wants to add in any additional instructions, things that you don't specifically don't want the AI to say, or specifically things that you do want the AI to say, then you can bring it onto the general AI, global AI instructions and add those instructions. Beyond that, there's another layer of customization. We separate the different scenarios in the e-commerce funnel, the different skills. We call them sales skills. So, for example, there's what do you do when customers are disengaged on the homepage versus what do you do when customers are disengaged looking at product pages, or what do you do when they're disengaged after adding to cart. So in each of those scenarios, the AI is trained to complete the goal, and the goal is in homepage is to show products, get them to see products. The goal after they view the pre-view products, the goal is to make sure they add the products to their cart. So for all those different scenarios, those different skills, you can actually add your own AI instructions saying, you know what, on product pages, I want you to incentivize them by doing this. I want you to maybe to, if they abandon cart, I want you to give them a specific discount for, to rescue the abandoned cart situation. So you can actually bring in another layer of customization on top of each scenario. But from the get-go, from the vanilla experience, it's already great because it learns from the website and tries to adapt itself to the customers in the website.
What about like upsells? And if somebody doesn't know like what they're looking for, like they come to the site blind, just kind of looking around. How does it help out in those scenarios?
So with upsell, the AI is already equipped with recommendation engines. So we also train engines in the background so the AI would know how to recommend complementary items, what items go together by viewing past purchases and saying, okay, I saw that with that item, most people buy those three items also. So the AI is always equipped with that information. So what are the items that are usually bought with this item that's already in the cart? So the AI can help with upsells. Same thing goes with what we call the similar items recommendation. So if let's say you're on a product page and you express that you're not specifically interested in that product, the AI can take you away to other products that are similar, that are usually viewed together in the same session and belong to the same collection or category. So those are the things that the AI is doing. Beyond that, there's what we call the product finder. Product finder is its own product by itself, you can say, that the AI is trained on understanding the entire catalog and being able to search the catalog for you, right? To bring in the results, but also take could be hundreds of results, okay? And then being able to ask follow-up questions about these results to make sure that you, and as a customer, you end up saying a few items, no more than that. And that is again done by an algorithm that does that in the background and then brings you in a conversational way only only a few products. Because again, as the same way with brick and mortar store, the sales system would not say, "Hey, those are here," or "Our black shirts are there. There's hundreds of black shirts." They would try to have a conversation with you to make sure that you feel more at ease of understanding what's the best item for you.
For a brand that's interested in employing this, you said it just takes like a couple minutes just to connect it to their Shopify store to get it going. What kind of a sales lift can they expect, or should they like conservatively think will happen if they were to deploy it in October in preparation for the holidays?
We will make sure that we lift up what we call AI generated sales. So those are sales that customers that were about to leave the website and the AI engage in conversation and then they ended up buying. Our commitment is to generate at least 5 times of the price of the package. That's the minimum. Most of our customers, most of our merchants see 26 ROI on their investment, on their monthly investment. And that's something that already happens from, I would say month one, you'll get to at least 10x ROI. Month two, you already start getting towards the 26. And month three, you're already there pretty much. So because it is an iterative process where yes, it's good to go, but the AI will start surfacing up many things that don't work on the website. For example, questions that people ask, and there's no information on the website before. So you finally, as I mentioned, you'll start getting those insights, how people refer to your products. Because we have so many conversations, around 3 to 5% of the website traffic will speak with the AI. That means a lot of information that you never had, a lot of feedback you never had, because people will start complaining, people will start asking questions that they're just not information there. Those are complaints or questions that you never got before. Never got before, because all the questions and complaints you get are post-purchase questions, post-purchase complaints. You never ever understand why people are so frustrated with your website experience. They just leave. They don't really leave feedback for you. They just leave. So this is the first time we catch them just before, and we're able to turn them around. And some just basically tell us what is bothering them. That information we surface up and give merchants as AI recommendations for how to optimize CX, how to optimize your customer experience. So things like what you should write on a website, how you should structure discounts, for example.
Mhm.
Even website errors. People complaining, yeah, I can't add to cart. Your website, the button is broken. So things like that. All of a sudden we get that. And again, information that in any other case, people would just shut off.
How does Rep AI differentiate itself from what Klaviyo is doing?
First of all, let me explain how we integrate. So we work with Klaviyo. I think from 2021, we started integrating with Klaviyo and became one of their partners. And our integration is actually amazing. So a few things that how like by integrating Klaviyo and API together, what you can achieve. So first of all, let's talk about the fact that we have, like I mentioned, 3 to 5% of the website visitors will talk to AI because of our proactive approach. So because of the way we know when they're about to leave the website and when to engage in the right time. That is what creates the scale of conversations. Then any conversations, in many cases, what I think maybe the number 2 or 3 of customer requests to our AI is like, hey, do you guys offer any discounts? Right? That's what they say. They all say the same thing. And luckily, the AI is equipped with different tools on what to do and how to navigate from that conversation. One of the tools that is being mostly used is subscribe and get a discount tool. So the AI knows that it can give some discount if you subscribe to Klaviyo, for example. Right? So the AI would ask them, yeah, well, yeah, we offer 10% off if you subscribe to our mailing list. What's your email? And then they give their email. And if they're not subscribed, okay, the AI subscribes to the Klaviyo and then gives them the 10% off. Now, let's say now they don't have anything in the cart. The AI was like, oh, but I see your cart is empty. Let me help you find something good for you, right? It's like a great salesperson. And then navigating them to the best product, adding to carts for them, shipping them to checkout. The discount code is already there. Don't even have to do it because the AI just places it in the checkout. The second one, also very, very big one, is enrichment of information. So you talked a lot about personalization, right? So in Klaviyo, you can segment customers, so you can segment subscribers, but a lot of the segmentation is based on what they bought already, right? Okay, they bought this item. I know they're interested in that. But there's a lot of information that you don't have as a merchant that exists there about customers because they haven't bought yet, right? They're not there yet. And we collect that information because we have conversations with them. So we know exactly what they're interested in because they will mention that in conversations. They will talk about it. We know exactly how to categorize them. What happens after every day, right? The AI goes over all the conversations and starts classifying conversations based on topics that you, as a merchant, you can configure, or also topics that the AI surfaces up. So AI discovers topics. Those topics are being injected into Klaviyo as custom tags. Now what you can do is you can create segmented lists based on those tags. And then you can create amazing personalization and shooting people an email or even an SMS based on what they talked in the conversation. They never bought, but we know that they're interested in black shirts because they mentioned in the conversation. They never bought in the end. Too bad. We'll get them afterwards. But now we can do that because you have that power of information, of having real insights of what people actually want and who they are.
Anything else about Rep AI that people watching should know?
So we price our tiers based on monthly visitors, monthly website visitors. Obviously it can be costly during the holiday season because the monthly visitor count just goes up in November, December. Basically, they sign up for Rep AI. We don't charge them extra for November, December. Whatever they get throughout the whole year, whatever the monthly visitor count that they get throughout the whole year, that's the plan that they'll be on. And that means that there's no overcharge for those 2 months. You can rest free and know that you can increase the traffic, and we'll help you monetize that traffic as much as possible.
They really would need to start as soon as possible so that they can have that 30 days of being in all the automations and customizations in that October month so that November they're ready to go.
Exactly. I forgot to mention we offer 30-day free trial, right? For everyone, right? But if you lock in that price, if you subscribe now in October. So you lock in that price for November, December.
They would need to go to what? HelloRep.ai, what's on my screen right now, and then sign up there and they'll automatically get the deal? Or do they need to do something special to get the deal?
No, nothing special. Just go to HelloRep.ai, it's seen on the screen, and press start free trial. That's it.
Thanks again, everyone, and have a great day.